Welcome. So in the last video we went over how to create a reusable React Hook form text component, and there's one limitation to that where when you use the text field it had to be within the React Hook form provider, since it was using like the context to grab the control object that's needed. What we're going to do in this video is just kind of expand that out so you can either pass in the control from the methods or use the context depending on what you need. Because like there's some cases we had a nested form where you couldn't really use the context within the context. It was just having some issues. So we ended up creating just a variation of this reusable text field component. And we can show this error real quick here again. But like, so say we grab this text field outside of the form provider and then we remove this one here, we'll get some error there, since the useFormContext doesn't return a value. And we can see here is this useFormContext and then control. So to upgrade this React Hook form text field and fix this error here, I guess there's a few approaches we can do. We'll go with the quick and easy one first. So that'll be just adding in a new optional prop here where we'll pass in the control object. And I think that's in this React Hook form library. Yeah. So we'll take this control type, put it in this prop here, and I believe it's any there. If anyone types that and knows kind of make that generic, leave a comment in the chat. Yeah. So with this control, we'll then pass it down to this props down here. We'll do like props control, and then so when we have the props control, that'll lead to the useFormContext being null. So here we're going to do const control equals, we're going to first check the props control. So we're going to default it, so if the props control is ever passed through, it'll use that. Otherwise we were going to switch over to the useFormContext control. So we can't keep this to deconstruct it because the error up there is just saying that it's null, at least like the useFormContext is. So we can't deconstruct the null value. We'll just do formContext here, and then if the props control is undefined, we can do formContext.control. Whenever you change the prop here, so if we do like a control, we pass in the control is coming from this methods up here, so what we're going to do is methods.control, and then we pass that in, and if we do a refresh, you can see that now the form's coming back looking like earlier. And then if we do like a test, and if we go to the logs, and if we hit save, at least you can see the validations are working there. Test again. So you can see when we on success here, we can see that the ID is being passed through as part of the useForm hook there. So yeah, that's the kind of the quick approach where you just pass in an optional control, and then it'll just kind of be relying on the developers to handle that itself. And so with the second approach, what we can do is modify this create React Hook form text field to actually be like a component instead of returning the component itself. So what we can do here is just delete that. We'll take off this up here. And so this component is now looking a little better. So we can do base React Hook form text field. And then from there, we can do form, and we'll go here and do props, take in the React Hook field props, and then down here just take that base, and what we're going to just do is spread out the props here as well. And then we'll do the same approach on this side, where we pass in the base. Alright, so both of those have their different props passed in. And then the main reasoning for this is the different control and field names. It's just so the developers won't have to like struggle to know, because right now how we have it is if you do that, the control, it won't force you to pass in the control. Ideally what we're going to do here is do like a new, maybe like control props, and then just the regular props there. So then for the control, it's going to force the typing on this side of things. So if we do control props, and then up here we'll have to change this to include like a, I guess a base. Let's go up here. So we'll do like reactive form text field base props, which would just be the name since that's required in both. And we'll extend that on these two. So reactive form text field props, text field control props. And then we'll take the name out since that's already up top. And this text field will still have the optional control, just so we don't have that typing error, but then this one will be required. And then down below with these two export it functions, basically what it's just doing is accepting specific props and then passing that down. If we come back to this side here, now you'll see that we have the typing error, which is saying that the control is required. So for the last update here, we're just going to make it so where the control is not a valid prop for this React Hook form text field, since you want this one to rely on context, and then if we're in the control, that one's already kind of working, where if we do the control and we don't include that prop, it's going to give you a type error. And we'll just include that in, and that should be working again. So yeah, so if we were doing like the React Hook form text field, we could add in like a context to it, but what we'll do to actually fix that is come into this text field here, and what we can just do is expand it out. So we take that, and here we'll do const form, and to be honest, we're going to do context, since this would require a useFormContext. So we'll pass in the control there. And so with that, let's just look at this one again. So with this, we'll just take off the control. To be honest, this is going to be the props. And let's take this off there. So within this, we'll do, so we can just take off the control, pass that in. Yeah, so this last look here is we'll have like the text field props, which doesn't include control, and the control. And down below with the two separate functions, we'll spread out the control props as needed. And for like the text field itself, we just need to grab the control from context before we're calling in the base text field. And then on this side now, if we come in and change this to text field, and we'll see that the control isn't part of it. So this will just help you a little more on the development side of things.